Welcome to Scholar Spite, a talk show with researchers. I'm your host, Amrita Panjwani, founder of Simplified Statistics. This is the 10th episode of this talk show, and I'm very excited to introduce our today's guest. She pursued her research in English from the University of Rajasthan, and for 2 consecutive years, she was awarded with departmental scholarship for her research work in English. A warm welcome to Dr. Angela Singh Mehla.
Thank you so much, Amrita, for having me in the show.
It's my pleasure. Let's start with a brief introduction about yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amrita, for having me in the show. It's nice knowing you from the virtual world, and now again, I just feel that as if you are sitting in just simply in front of me and we are talking. I'm happy to have you here and see you on the screen. And with this, I would simply say that the reason for being in the show is the Scholars Bite itself. And as I have done my research, so definitely I would like to talk about it and I would like to discuss about it and let the people know, and the scholars, those who are aspiring scholars, those who are willing to get into research, we need to definitely lay down a path for them to walk on. For that, I would like to start out by simply spelling out why I'm what I'm today. So life is what we make out of it. And I think so you'll also agree with this point.
Yes.
The problem is in understanding the importance of English in the smaller towns and cities in India, or even cross the boundaries. But here, as we all know that English itself is a universal language and the easiest to communicate, and on top of it with anyone and everyone. But again, the problem lies is that people, those who do not know the value of this subject or the language itself, they need to understand how to get into it, how to understand, how to learn, and how to practically practice it. That's very important, where the problem lies. So you might be thinking that you are asking about, tell me something about myself. So why am I talking about, I'm laying down the background that what made me land here, that I was watching, I got the opportunity to be in your talk show. So back then in my school days, I was extremely influenced by my English teacher, as everybody of us
True.
definitely used to
Yes.
be this. Yeah. So as I grew older, I realized the importance of English and communication. And the thought of doing something valuable in this field was the utmost priority for me. Uh, my parents are from complete Hindi medium background. And knowing that, I never felt that whether I can get into English or not, or any other language. Because when they saw my keenness in this particular subject, they genuinely and they actually forced me to get into this line. And this made me choose English in my 11th grade, obviously arts humanities as a subject. And then so in the same discipline, I went ahead in my UG and PG. Then obviously students struggle a lot to understand and speak in English, and even basic conversation is lacking. And here comes the reason for me to get into this, was that the research was the only way to understand the basic concept to the core, the subject to the core, and conceptually and methodically. So this made me pursue my PhD in English.
That's
Yeah.
that's such a good background because I can see that if I talk about English, as my personal perspective would be that it's just a language. But diving into the literature and understanding it to the core is a totally different world, I would say, for you. How was your experience going through that process?
I would not say that it was very good, but yeah, pursuing my PhD was the best part. Till date, I relish that part of my life, because if you are a learner, you are a scholar for the whole life. You are a student for the whole life. So when you're talking that, as you said, that how was the feeling when I was going through that process? Yes, the process to learn that, to become a researcher, was very good. And obviously I had that vision, I had that the reason to learn myself, push myself to get into this line. Because when people say that, okay, I'm doing research on so and so thing, but do they actually understand what is the reason for why you are getting into this research thing? Because just getting into research, copying down a few things from internet and taking few things from the book and simply mentioning and doing things in a bit won't work, because it is a complete process of learning. It is a complete process of doing something in a systematic way. That is very much required, and that is lacking. And it's sad and unfortunate and ironic also at the same time that in India, people, those who value, they understand what research is, but those who actually do not understand, they think, okay, anybody can do research. No, we cannot do research like that. It is from the primule, from the very first part when you put a seed, from that part till the end when you conclude it, you still do not have that satisfaction. Okay, I'm done with research, but now what next? Because only research won't help. How much you have worked for the betterment that people do understand, do value your work, and whether it is for them to go by it, and the most important thing, whether they trust your work or not. Because if they're not able to relate with the work, they will definitely not read your work. So that's most more important, and that is lacking in. I'll not. It's generic. I'm not saying that this much percent is not doing proper research or that much percent is doing well. It's about in general that people need to understand the importance and the value behind why that research has to be conducted, because it has to add some value to the people's life. That is very
That's so
important.
true. Right. I totally agree to you. And what was the research topic that you went for?
Thank you for asking, because I genuinely, when somebody asks me this, I love telling this. The very first thing, it is the whole of the research work is it revolves around the Afro-American literature, and the background is completely African and American. So here, the title of my research work is The Self in Society, Exploring Cultural Embeddedness in Gloria Naylor's Fiction. So yeah, Gloria Naylor is the one on whom I worked. And this whole of the centric thing is that she believed that if you want to look for yourself, you need to understand what is the reason of your existence in this world. It's not about feminism. It's not about what people think of you. It is about, because she belongs to African community, and that was one of the challenges for her also, and for all the African people. And same goes with Indians also, because we have been facing racial discrimination to a very high level till date. Even we are educated, we have that mental level, but the mindset has not changed. That's the worst part. So that was one of the reasons to put myself into this and to bring in that racial harmony. The most important thing is you need to get to know each other very well.
That's such a wonderful topic, and to be very honest, initially when I read the title, I could not interpret it. The way you have explained it actually makes more sense to me that what it actually means. So, may I know more about your research, because the topic sounds so wonderful? What was your learning through this topic, or what did you conclude based on it? Can you please share a bit on that?
Definitely, Amrita, I would love to do that. As I stated, that when we talk about self, it is more of knowing oneself. The moment you start understanding yourself, you start valuing the existence of other people in the world. So here, the very important thing which comes to my mind when I started ahead with this, I started moving ahead with the research thing, was as we Indians, we can easily relate with Africans. And the most important thing which landed me and which pushed me to get into this research work was the so-called third world problems like racial discrimination, poverty, slavery. This is so common in India also, and we have been facing this every now and then, be it any caste or creed. How does that make any difference? So this was one of the reasons, and I genuinely wanted to paint the true picture of the sufferings of people beyond boundaries, because we shouldn't because this is one of the aspects that every human being at some point of time faces it. So, and what I learned in the whole of this process is that the more you respect yourself, the more you're kind to yourself, the more you have space for yourself in your own world, the more you read, the more you sit with people, those who understand what you actually want to convey. the more you'll be doing good for the people, and definitely you'll be putting up good for the research also. That is very much required. And Amrita, I would like to highlight one thing, that it's not about creativity. People can bring in creativity, they have creativity with them, but it needs to be streamlined. Just getting up and putting up that, okay, I want to do research, and they start with things. No, you need to plan your whole life for that. That you need to give that 4 years, 2 years, 24 months minimum to get into this research work. But not just 24 months. You need to, before that, 2 years, 3 years before that, you need to plan that, okay, I need to do research, I need to do, and you need to plan the questions also. That this thing I want to do. You need to explore more that what you actually want, because somebody has told you, somebody has guided you to get into this particular thing. Be it any subject, be it any discipline, hardly matters. It's about, if you are have that instinct, if you genuinely want to go for one of the topics you want to, yeah, definitely guide helps a lot. The person who is there, the research guide is there, he or she helps a lot. But the very first question the research guide will also ask, okay, Angela, what would you like to go, which genre would you like to go, do you want to go for poetry, do you want to go for prose or essays, or what do you want to go for, and which is your favorite author? That would be the very first question. And if I'm clueless, it's useless doing research, it's better not to do it. For scholars, it is better, before getting into research, it's better to go for dissertation work or any small project being taken, or start writing with the articles and reading a lot about what, and explore to get into what subject or genre you want to go for, because that is very much important. You need to make your mind before getting into research.
And if I talk about your research experience, what was the biggest challenge that you found throughout the process?
The biggest challenge was that, coming from a very small town in Rajasthan, I faced numerous challenges. Obviously, the research topic was unique. That was one of the biggest challenges, because working on an Afro-American writer, and that too, you do not, a lack of resources were there, and you'll not find books that easily. And long back in 2006, even you are aware that it was not that feasible to go with the data, which was the internet access was not that affordable. And most of the things which I did was in connection to this research work. I used to connect with my guide on phone, and commuting from one place to another, because I was not in the same town at that time. So I used to commute around 1,300 kilometers for that. Via train, I used to come, or flight, I used to come. But I had to travel a lot for that, because you need to be present in the same place when you are doing your research. So that was one of the major challenges for me. It was kind of Dr. Rajul Bhargav, that she assisted me, she helped me, she supported me wholeheartedly. That was there. But this was one of the constraints, that telephonic conversations were major. And one more thing was that I wanted to be employable, and for that, credentials needed to be enhanced, the skills needed to be enhanced. And just getting married at a very early age, I was just 20 to 23 when I got married. And just coming out of college, I just completed my PG and I got married. I was clueless what to do and what not to do, because I genuinely wanted to pursue PhD. I was through and through clear here. So that employable thing, the credentials needed to be enhanced. And the best part was, in the whole of this process, my family has been a biggest support before and after marriage. Yeah, my husband would have, if he would not have been supportive, if my in-laws would not have been supported, I would not have been here in the same way as I'm talking to you. Because you we as females, we as Indian women, we have that, I proudly feel and I proudly say that I'm a domestic engineer. Rather than a homemaker, I treat myself as a domestic engineer. And on the other hand, I actually feel happy that when I see Dr. Angela Singh, I enjoy that. So I think that was one few achievements and challenges which I faced. And it's not easy to get into this, because when people say that, okay, I did this, I was fortunate, I was unfortunate, I'll simply say it is a process. You need to strive hard for that. If you are not ready, people will not help you. Because my mindset was clear that I need to get into this and I need to do PhD at any cost. I need to do my research, because I was doing the same thing as I suggested to the scholars also, that before research I did my dissertation, I wrote a few articles also, and I tried to understand what actually I wanted. So that was one of few reasons, and finally I wanted, and that was the reason why people helped me. If you do not want from inside, nobody's there to help you. You need to pull yourself so that you push yourself to the extent where you actually want to go and reach.
That's a wonderful message because I can see the way you said that you had a clarity right from the beginning, you had a vision, and the way you have come up so far, it just gives me goosebumps to think about you, that how much passion you had at that time, how much fire you had to come up to this point. And that really makes me feel proud to be talking to you today.
Thank you so much. Pleasure is all mine, Amrita.
So, as you said that, okay, you wanted to do research in English, and the reason behind that is so genuine. I have one question that comes to my mind, that when I think about research in science like physics, chemistry, I know, okay, something new can be explored there, and that is why research is being done in those fields. But when I talk about English, how do you perceive that new information can be created in a subject like English?
The most important thing is when I say that you need to collect proper data, and then you need to, if you want to add a tinge of reality to it, the factual thing, that is very much, people treat English as a philosophical subject. What I think is, when we write something on that paper, on the page where you write, when we read novels or when we read any short stories, why don't we think that these stories have come from somebody who might have faced it? Because these stories are not just stories, these are somebody's experiences. And similarly, when we write any research or when we do any research, the most important thing is that people forget that you are doing for, not for yourself, you're doing it for somebody else, and that is for the people, those who are going to read it. So that is the reason why I said that it has to be from the grassroots level. You cannot just all of a sudden you just get up in the morning and you feel, okay, I have to do research because one of my friend has suggested. No, this doesn't work for long. Obviously you'll get into this, please asked you to do it, but the problem lies is, if you're not willing to do it, you'll not continue after a span of months or years.
True. Yes.
Feel okay, you feel heavy after that, then why am I doing this? Because you do not want it. So it's not that somebody has asked you to do it, it's about how much you want to do it. So that's very important. And as you said that how to relate this literature with the reality, or can we bring up something new in this? Yes, we can definitely bring something, introduce something new or innovate something new. Is that when we talk about my work itself, if we talk about Gloria Naylor, as it's unfortunate that she expired in 2016, and uh, she did what none of them did. The biggest challenge for Gloria Naylor was that being an African, being a black, on top of it, lack of resources. She was not being helped by anybody, and they had a long family to take care of. She was one of the eldest children in the family, and again, father wasn't there. And she herself had she has struggled a lot to reach to where she was back in 2016, when I used to read every day about her, because I was so much uh, passionate about reading the literature which I read. The whole of this African literature, it is full of culture and full of religious beliefs they have, and how much we value that. So it is, as I said, that as we as Indians, how can we relate that? This is one of the new thing which can be introduced. And how will you relate yourself? Because being an Indian doing a PhD research work of somebody else who doesn't have anything to do with Indian background or Indian society itself. So that was one of the things which made me or pushed me to get into this, and to explore more, to understand more, to innovate more. You need to be factual, and you need to talk to people a lot. I did that in my thesis. I used to visit people. I used to prepare questionnaire. Even I had underprivileged people also. I used to talk to them. I used to visit to their places. So this is one of the aspect of research. Just sitting at home and copying down things from net is not okay, because now that is very much easily accessible. But how much you are keen to go out and learn and explore and bring the factual things so that your thesis is actually real. It's not that something is being written which is already written. It is about what you bring new. People have worked on Gloria Naylor a lot, but this was one of the aspects that very few have worked on, the self in society, because that is what she was looking for, that how much you value yourself. That was the utmost important thing for her and for everybody like us. It's not about being female, it's about as human how much you value yourself. Yeah.
That's a wonderful perspective shared, that how innovation can be created in such a field where you have literature, where you have culture, where you have somebody who is not connected to our region, but still we can create new knowledge based on those facts and how it relates to us.
Exactly.
So, what would be your final message to our aspiring scholars?
The very first foremost thing is learning is a never ending process. And to be a better teacher, obviously I am, so I respect that a lot. And to be a better teacher and researcher, you have to be a consistent learner, and you need to evolve with time and keep enhancing your skills along with it. You cannot just sit and think, okay, I'm done with it. Why people are not coming to me and asking me for help, or any, they're not hiring me. No, people will not come. People will not ask you. You need to go and initiate. You need to instill that feeling in yourself that I need to upgrade so that I'm not obsolete. That's very important. Then one more thing is the most important thing, that one, we need to leave a legacy for people to follow. The legacy which you leave for the people behind will be passed on from one generation to another. So, considering your question here, that the message to the aspiring scholars would be that take research as a responsibility, as the outcome is not only information written on paper, but also a real value addition to the reader, to the society as a whole. Be a ripple effect in the society for the better outcome.
That's such a wonderful message, Dr. Angela. It's been amazing talking to you today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Amrita. I'm so glad to be a part of your show. And the best part, which I enjoyed the most, is the name which you have kept for your venture, that is Scholars Bite. That a bite has got those 8 bites, I think so, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
And every
yes.
bite is important. Yeah.
True.
So it's nice to know that how innovative you have chosen the title. Definitely, you are
Thank
doing.
you.
This is what I'm talking about. That if you want to create that ripple effect, be the effect, be that ripple, be the idea. So you are the idea. And thank you for making me sink into it.
Been a pleasure for everyone, I would say, because people need to know that being a researcher is not a one day's job, or it doesn't end with just copying content through internet. It requires a lot of hard work and a never ending learning process. So it's been a pleasure for all of us here to have you today on this talk show.
Thank you so much.